Hello, welcome back to our YouTube channel. Today, we have an exciting topic to delve into, React components. But before we begin, if you haven't already watched our previous video on setting up a React application, make sure you do so for a better understanding of the concepts we will be discussing today. React utilizes a component-based architecture. This architectural approach forms the backbone of React and is essential for building robust and scalable applications. So let's dive deeper into the world of components. A component in the context of React can be defined as a reusable and self-contained piece of code that encapsulates specific functionality and user interface elements. Components are the building blocks of React applications, enabling developers to create modular, maintainable, and highly reusable code. The significance of components in React cannot be overstated. Firstly, the reusability factor allows developers to write code once and reuse it across various parts of the application. This saves time and effort, promoting efficiency in development. Secondly, components enhance modularity by dividing the user interface into smaller, manageable pieces, making it easier to understand and maintain the code base. Lastly, components contribute to maintainability by isolating specific functionalities and promoting code organization. To understand this, let's visualize a web page consisting of 6 components: a header, a main section, 2 side navigation bars, a footer, and an app component that serves as the main entry point for this application. Each of these components has a specific role and purpose within the web page, and React allows us to encapsulate their functionalities into separate components, ensuring a clean and organized code structure. Now, where do we place these components? Well, in React, components are typically placed in JavaScript files within the src folder of your project. This ensures that components are easily accessible and can be imported whenever required. Moving on, let's explore the different types of components in React. There are 2 key types: functional components and class components. Functional components, as the name suggests, are defined as JavaScript functions. They are simpler to write, understand, and test. On the other hand, class components are created using JavaScript classes, and they provide additional features like lifecycle methods and state management. The creation process for these 2 types of components differs slightly. First, let's create a functional component that greets a user. To begin, open up the src folder of the application we created in the previous video. Inside it, let's create a new folder called Components. Within this folder, let's create a new JavaScript file and name it Greet.js. This file will house our new component. To start, we need to import the necessary React modules. You can do this by adding the following line of code: import React from React. Next, we define our functional component. We will use the arrow function syntax and give it the name greet. Inside the function, return a JSX code. JSX represents the structure and content of our component. For now, let's add a p tag with the text Hello John Doe. To make our component usable in other parts of the application, we need to export it as the default export. Simply add the line export default Greet. Now, let's import this component into our app component. In the app.js file, add the statement import Greet from /components/Greet. Finally, we can use our imported component inside the return statement of the app component, just like any other HTML tag. Don't forget to save your file and then refresh your browser to see the changes take effect. There you have it. Congratulations on creating your very first functional React component. Now, let's create a class component that does the same function of greeting a user. To start, navigate to the Components folder in your React project and create a new JavaScript file named Hello.js. To import the necessary React modules, utilize the following line of code. Import React, component inside curly bracket from React. Next, define your class component by creating a class that extends the provided React component class. Assign the name Hello to your class component, which will serve as its identifier within the application. Inside the Hello class, establish a render method. This method is responsible for rendering the JSX code that represents the component structure and content. Within the render method, return the JSX code that defines the desired structure and content. For now, let's include a p tag with the text Hello Jane Doe. Export this component using the statement export default hello, mirroring the approach used for functional component. Now, let's import the Hello component into our app component. In the app.js file, add the following statement: import Hello from /components/hello. Then incorporate the imported component within the return statement of the app component. Remember to save the file and then refresh your browser to observe the implemented changes taking effect. That is it. To summarize the main points of this video, React employs a component-based architecture which allows for reusability, modularity, and maintainability. Components are the building blocks of React applications and can be placed in JavaScript files within the src folder. React offers two types of components, functional and class components, with slight differences in their creation process. In our next video, we will explore the exciting topic of styling React components. We will delve into various techniques and best practices for beautifying and enhancing the visual appeal of your components. Be sure to tune in for that. That concludes today's discussion on React components. We hope this video has provided you with valuable insights into the world of React component architecture. Thank you for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in our next video.